Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Yes, the FrSky X-Lite Pro has arrived, but unfortunately I have bad news, which might be old news to some of you. If you fly micros like I do, D8 mode, we're going to have to spend more money. We're going to have to get an external module, and right now it doesn't work at all. You can't bind a D8 receiver, you can't bind an XM, you can't bind an XM Plus. They're just not compatible right now. So the short of this is you need to wait on this radio because you won't be able to bind it up to your fleet unless you're willing to replace all the receivers and spend a whole lot more money. So I'm not an insider. All this information came from RC Groups, which seems to be somewhat of an official communication channel of the FrSky team as well as OpenTX. And I've got here on screen just a little quote to bring your attention to it, because I'm not just shooting from the hip here. I spent about 2 or 3 nights kind of looking into this because I wanted to fly. I wanted to fly it. I wanted to actually post a review and tell you what my experience was using this radio in the capacity that I normally do, but this case I just can't. We've got Andrea Huang noting to everyone, and she seems to be a representative of FrSky according to her profile on the RC Groups, about the D16 will be working with the internal module. ETA is May. It's May 17th of this recording. There are some nightly builds that went up this morning, but I have not tested those as of just yet. I don't know if any additional features that we're looking for come from that. She also notes that the XJT Lite external module will be supporting D8 mode binding. So you spend $200 on a new X-Lite, and then you need, if you're like me and you have a lot of those little all-in-one boards that flies a SPI D8 receiver, well, D8 seems to work more reliably than D16 on those receivers. You've got to buy a module. Now, I've got a module. I don't know if it's going to work with this radio or not. The form and fit, it should work. I've used it for DSMX purposes on other quads that I have, so I'll have to test that out to see. Also, below that, you'll see where she posts directly about the Access RF modules. Also, note that some of the receivers that you may already have in quads, in order to use the Access firmware, you're probably going to have to update those receivers as well. So you won't be able to get the enhanced features, and I don't think that's unreasonable to expect that we'd get enhanced features of the Access protocol, or I might be misstating that, the Access firmware for receivers that we don't have to update. It's very logical that we would have to update them, so keep track of that. There's a full and complete list. I'll put a link down below in the compatibility list, the feature set. I'm not going to go through everything in this video just because I haven't flown it, so my experience with this is relatively muted. I'll give you some information that I can here on the desk. My primary radio has been the X-Lite, so I'm quite used to the form factor, and I think the secondary thing I'd want to impress upon anyone who's watching this, if you're not familiar with my channel, you might want to go watch some of the videos, because I am a pincher. I started out of the thumber and then I transitioned to pinching, and I use my X-Lite every day for every quad. I put the multi-module in there so I could even transfer things over that are DSMX, so I don't have to worry about having more than one radio. I've got a host of radios, but this is the one I use. This is the one that goes out with me every flight. I didn't change out sticks, even though I bought sticks. I didn't like the other sticks. I really didn't modify this. So I don't carry this in a bag, so I can't tell you about the durability of the surface and whether or not these are going to be very durable coming in and out of bags. I fly in the backyard, I go outside, I have some fun, I come back in. So I'm used to this, and you can pinch. You can pinch. Actually, I think this is more comfortable for me for pinching than any other radio that I've used. And I've used a few. The Devo 7E, the Devo 10, the QX7, 3 or 4 of the jumpers. I've got my X9D Pro right here. I know people swear by this, but I couldn't stand this thing. It's really big, it's really chunky, and I felt like I took a 1.5 step back flying with this thing. I think this is much more natural. This angle that it creates is presumably a near angle from your shoulder down your rib cage line and then in wherever you hold this. That actually, so your hands are angled just kind of at a natural position, I think. Now, one thing I did have to get used to is the switches. And I'll go through, the switches are all what you would expect if you're familiar at all with the X-Lite. We have 2 additional switches right here. These are Momentary Buttons. You may prefer Momentary switches, but what they gave us is Momentary Buttons. Don't know if I'll switch out the stick ends or not. One thing to note about this, if you are coming from a much larger radio, is the stick throws are much smaller, and I like that. I use high rates, and I like small movements. It helps me fly the way I want to fly, accomplishing my goals. As far as the surface, it feels exactly the same as the X-Lite. I don't think we have any sort of different painting materials or rubberized materials. It feels just the same. Everything is the same. You do get a nice case. You get gimbal protectors. You also get the stick ends that allow you to use the standard size batteries. And I'll show you that I am using the smaller size batteries because I bought some of those. This doesn't fit on quite as much as it fits on easily. I mean, there's no real problem with it. But if you'll notice, it seems like it might be manufactured off a little bit. This could just be mine. But when you lock it in all the way, you see how that sticks up a little bit, so it might catch in your hand. Of course, you can twist it, and it's fairly taut in there. You know, it's pressure fitted to a degree. I don't think this would come off in flight, but that allows you to use some more of those standard size cells that so many people have. So you do have those. It is a premium product at a premium price, so they do throw in a few little things for us to use. Also, USB charging. We have a USB charger. No worries there. I got my somewhat blue USB cable out, and if you look right here, hopefully you'll be able to see it light up. And now we're charging. So that's a feature a lot of people wanted. Matter of fact, a few manufacturers came out with boards you can put inside in order to charge. Of course, we've got this typical standard SD and pinouts down here. I don't have an SD card in it because I can't use it, so there's no point in that. I have been through the menuing system. I've been through all those things. It's typical OpenTX. Now, the gimbals are kind of a high selling point. And unfortunately, I think in a non-review fashion, which is what this video is, you know, I'm just feeling the gimbals, and quite honestly, I don't feel any difference. I don't feel any difference in the center position on whether it's more notchy or not. I've already set my throttle up to I like a real loose throttle. I may have that just a touch too loose. I may need to turn that a little bit. And we have these positions on the back where we can turn things in order to make them adjusted. I think, if I read correctly, in order to adjust the spring tension here, we do still have to take it apart. So that's a bit unfortunate. But I think we can loosen up the sticks vertically, and we can also choose which mode we're in via screws in the back, so you don't necessarily have to take it off. Of course, we've got the same module bay back here that we would expect. But back to those gimbals, I don't feel any difference. I didn't feel any difference on the X9D than I did with others. I think where it comes into play is over the long haul, that these do wear down. Like, maybe I can make this one do it. I'll try to be real quiet here. Can you hear that? So my throttle stick is actually a little bit sticky, and I bought some lube to put on there, but I just haven't done that yet. I probably will at some point when I can start to use this a lot more. I'll put that lube in there because I need a transmitter to fly every day. But, you know, I do a lot of throttle pumping with my flight style, and I've noticed, especially in the colder months, this got real stiff. And I think that's probably, for me, where the upgraded gimbals is going to come to play, that after many hours of use, they will continue to be smooth and have the feel that we expected it to have from day one through day what have you. But as far as them feeling buttery smooth or anything of that nature, I can't tell the difference. There are some interesting features down inside. It's got a gyro, so you could presumably fly like if you're playing a mobile game where you tilt and you roll and you do those things. I don't think it would work very well for us quad flyers, but if you do planes of some sort, maybe it'd work. Maybe it'd be an interesting Rotor Riot episode where they try to fly without actually using the sticks. They just try to, I don't know, I guess you could yaw this way. Yeah, shouldn't that work? You should be able to fly quad using the gyro too. There's a spectrum analyzer in there, and I pull that stuff up, which is interesting to look at, but you can look at it on the website too. I think the main point of this is, if you want to be an early adopter, you have to be prepared to replace your receivers and spend more money than your initial purchase. Because right now we're sitting and we're waiting, we're hoping for an update to OpenTX 2.3. We have, as I said earlier in the video, we have nightlies that just started this morning. I think they posted at 8:59 this morning that nightlies just went live. We'll have to see how that goes. You know, it could be a month. It could be multiple months. So until then, I will put this back in the box and I will wait. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, please let me know in that section down below. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.